Good afternoon, good day, good evening, good morning to everyone. It's good to see all of you here. I suggest we start slowly. Thank you for being here. Today, we are together here to welcome you to our event in Cultivating a New Era of Care. We're going to have a panel discussion on engaging men in nurturing care. And we're going to launch our new compendium of good and promising practices. It's very exciting for us to be here together in our endeavors. So I would like to give you a little bit of information while we are warming up. Today in this event, we would like to show you the transformative impact of father involvement in caregiving. We have with a focus on child development and gender equality and family well-being. How we want to do this, we want to share insights from evidence-based programs, and we would like to advocate for inclusive approaches and practices in early childhood services. We would like to advocate for social policies and structures and workplace structures that support father engagement. And we know that systemic change can come by integrating specific programs, evidence-based programs into services, professional training, and workplace policies and environments. And I'm happy to announce that by this event, we're launching our compendium, Men's and Fathers' Engagement and Nurturing Care, the compendium of good and promising practices that we developed under the Engaging Men in Nurturing Care initiative. I would like to give you a background really quick about EMING initiative. You can find all of the information in ISSA's website and also EMING webpage. And I invite you to check our webpage as well. And my colleague Jen will be helping us sharing with the links in the chat. EMING stands for Engaging Men in Nurturing Care. In our approach and intervention, we go by several quests. The main quests of this project is we ask the question, what policies matter for increased men engagement in child caregiving? Is the current formulations enough? What hinders men engagement in sharing caregiving? We want to grow evidence and learn about it more and more. And especially for this event, we are going to talk about what are effective ways to influence fathers' caregiving practice at home and in childhood services, how we can influence the practices across different professions, be it education or health sector. So how do we do it in EMIC? We do it in influencing policy at local and national level. And we aim to change practices in home environments and early childhood services. Now, EMING is active in Italy, Portugal, and Spain, and also we do EU level advocacy with our 4 partners. You can see the names of the partners. We are as ISSA. We have Observatory of Masculinities, where we have Tatiana from there today. We have Centro per la Salute del Bambino, CSB from Italy, and Connexus from Spain. I would like to give you a little bit of information about the compendium that we're developing. We're so happy to share with you today the launch of this compendium. With the compendium under EMING, we aim to grow evidence. And as a part of this endeavor, we developed the compendium, which provides an overview of program features, fatherhood programs, and parenting programs. It highlights main challenges and impact, and it showcases effective programs in father engagement, and it provides key recommendation for enhancing fatherhood and early childhood programs. So today, what are we going to talk about? We will first hear experiences from the field, reflections on supporting professionals, and we will share findings about the impact of fatherhood programs, and we will have a discussion Q&A session at the end. Here, I would like to invite all of the participants to write their comments if they have questions during the event as well. And just a reminder that we will have some time for discussion, and we would like to encourage everyone to join and discuss together and share and grow together in this cause that we believe in. I would like to briefly introduce our speakers. Today here with us we have Ergin Dikme from ACEV. He's a trainer for Father Support Program for many years. He's been a field supervisor. He's going to share his experiences from the field directly. And we have Angela Giusti here. I'm so happy that she accepted to be here today. She's from the Italian National Institute of Health, National Center for Disease Prevention and Promotion. She's a senior researcher, and she's going to help us and guide us in and share her expertise about capacity building strategies and professional training. And we have Tatiana from Observatory of Masculinities and CES, and she's a principal researcher. We've been collaborating with her for many years now, and she's going to present some findings on masculinity, caregiving patterns, and all from the cumulative research so far. So as I said, I'm inviting you to put your questions and comments in the chat, and we will have some time at the end. So I don't want to make it longer. Thank you so much. Now I would like to open our discussion with a question to all of our speakers that I would like to hear your perspectives on very little, 1 or 2 sentences. What inspires your work in promoting father engagement for you, Angela, Tatiana, and Ergin, and please. I'm going to stop sharing.
May I start?
Yes, please. Yes.
I didn't know we were going to have questions. Hey, Ayca. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining this webinar. And thank you to ISSA for having this great audience and see some friendly faces and new faces. So why do I work on fatherhood and caregiving? I work
in a 1 sentence, if you can warm us up a little bit, yeah.
To promote caring masculinities and more just society.
Yeah, thank you. Angela?
Wow. In short, because maybe it's time for a change. We are in 2024. Although at international level, sometimes we have the impression that what is a right is not anymore a right. But anyway, I think that, yeah, it's really time for a change.
Ergin, do you want to say one word, 1 sentence?
Thank you. It's very good. I'm glad to be here, and thank you very much, Ayca, for this meaningful meeting. I'm here, and I being a part of a good father growing program in Turkey, and I think that this program changed something in my society rules, so that I'm so happy. And thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I guess everybody here, I feel like we are sharing the same values, so that we are here. I see already a lot of people writing in the chat. First, I would like to start with Ergin Dikme from ACEV Istanbul. Ergin, he has been in the front lines of ACEV's evidence-based fatherhood programs for many, many years. And I asked him if you can share your experiences from the field, and he was kind enough to prepare a video for us, and he prepared a little bit of speech for us. And I invite Ergin to share with us your experiences. He has been working in Istanbul, but also in other cities, or only in Istanbul right now, Ergin Hocam?
Yeah, I am in Istanbul now.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will be sharing now the video that he prepared. He's going to show us insights from the field, from his work.
First, I want to say something. Maybe before that,
of course.
you can
Yes.
share it. Yeah. Thank you
In the
very much.
meantime, my colleague will be helping us.
Okay, thank you. Hello again. I am Ergin Dikme, and I am a teacher in a secondary school in Istanbul. My connecting with the Mother Child Education Foundation, as Ayca said, ACEV, started with the Father Support Training Program I attended in 2004. And that time I was single, I was not married, but now I am a father and I have 2 children. So that I gave a big importance more than. Today, I will share with you my experience of father support training groups. I had 10 groups from now. And first, we meet with the managers of organization. It could be a school or the other organization, all municipalities organization. We are working in the kindergartens of local municipalities or schools. We meet with the managers of organization and we share with them our programs content. If they like it, they encourage us, and then we open a group in that. After getting their approval, we make an announcement and invite fathers to our introductory meeting. In our introductory meetings, we explain the works of our foundation, the content of the training, and its contributions to children and parents. At the end of this meeting, we receive the contact information of the fathers who volunteer to participate in the training. In the father support training program, in addition to up-to-date scientific information, it's a program where we have fun and talk together. Now we are all are fathers, so that we share everything with each other. We talked about increasing our cooperation with mothers in the growth of our children, the sense of solidarity that develops among fathers over time, and their efforts to apply what they have learned make me very happy. Our program previously focused on democratic parental attitudes. At the end of training in these groups, we gave each participant the training supplements in a green folder. Remember one of the fathers saying, "Teacher, I am about to get angry with my child, but when I see your green folder, I put on the brakes." Our new trainings focus on the caregiving role of fatherhood. In one of the mother season in our training, a mother said, "Before my husband wouldn't go in the kitchen, now he makes an effort to help to me, and I encourage him to cook even if it is not good." After each season, for mothers, fathers are really happy to hear what their wives talked about and to know they are satisfied. This year, I am giving the training at my son's elementary school. This shows how motivated I am to teach. We all have duty to create a safer and happier world for our kids. I am very glad to be part of this program, and thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. Do you want to show the video now and say a few words about this? Yes,
Of course.
we will
Thank you.
Thank you so Yes.
Yes, we are playing together, we are speaking together, talking about the gender equality, talking about the children growing, and of course, about our family and about our relationships of wife and husband relationship. After this meeting, I will be a group again, and we will speak about gender equality today.
This is one of your groups, I guess.
No, it is 9 seasons. Yeah, we start 2 months ago. It's our ceremony, certificate ceremonies, and our certificate. Children give the certificate. Yeah, the father photo. Yes, children give this certificate to fathers.
That is great. Thank you. It was very nice to have a peek into the field thanks to your work, Ergin, and it's great to see the dynamism in the field and how fathers are feeling really engaged and all the families and schools coming together. So it's a very good example. Thank you so much for providing this. If you have questions to the audience, please, I invite you to write in the chat, or at the end, you can just unmute yourself and we can talk further. Now, I would like to give the floor to Angela Giusti from Italy. Angela and us, we were collaborating for a long time, also in earlier endeavors on father engagement and for e-parents before and in line with EMIC. And she has a lot of experience in training, and we've been collaborating with ISS, and we are synergizing our efforts for EMIC project as well. So Angela, please, the floor is yours. Please, can you tell us about the most effective strategies and your training expertise and your insights, please?
Yes, thank you, Isa. Yeah, we've been working a lot with training for fatherhood, for caring masculinities, but also in other areas of public health and addressing training for health professionals, but also social workers or education sector or association volunteers. And what I would like to share with you is the experience we had that although you provide very good training on knowledge, one of the main barriers are the internalized stereotypes when you work with health professionals, with any kind of professionals. And because the professionals, like anyone, even us, we are shaped by the societal norms, and we have our own ideas of what is fatherhood or what should be fatherhood. And sometimes we don't realize that these stereotypes are in the way. I give you an example. I was in Spain for a meeting in Minorca, and in a public health school, a lot of young professionals and a lot of fathers, young fathers with their babies, very young babies. I mean, 3-4 months. For me, I'm also a midwife, so I was looking like, where is the mother? You know? Because for me, a 3-month-old baby where is the breast milk, where is the mom, and whatever. And then I realized that they have such a good law on parental leaves, paternal leaves, that fathers, for them, it's normal to be outside alone with their own babies and caring for the babies, which is not normal in Italy, because here father only have 10 days. So I really had the wrong glasses. You know, my stereotypes stand on the way in my look to the way I was looking to the realities. Another very simple example: if you call the plumber and he come to your house, and it's you and your husband or your partner, he will look at the man in the house, probably, because we have these stereotypes. And going back to the training experience, I think that one of the most important things is to work on self-awareness. What do I think about fatherhood? And I would like to share, let me see if I can, to share with you, condividi. Yeah, here it is. This is, can you see my screen? Yeah? Okay.
Yes, now we can. Yes.
Okay, and these are some of the tools we use when we go in schools, or we do the training, or whatever we do, and it's taken from the web. Okay, so you see on upper left, when you get out for a walk with your children, how do you dress them according to who is dressing the children? Here, the perfect one, the gold standard, is the mother. The grandmother, she used to put too much clothes because she's afraid they will get cold. And the father is just nonsense, mismatched socks, you know, these kind of things. And here how when they dress by themselves. And when you show these to the group, always we laugh and haha, this is true, this is my husband, it's really true. And we say, how can we trust men when it's about caring their children, if we still have these stereotypes? There are several reflections we can do about this picture. For instance, that the gold standard is not necessarily having the same socks, but it could be that the child likes one red and one green socks, and the daddy is listening to the child and putting exactly the socks as he likes. So it's a different way to be a parent. But and this is another one. Can you see it? Because I have this annoying. Yeah, okay. This is something on the right, when we train midwives or personnel working in the delivery rooms, and we ask, what does the father do in the delivery room? He faints, he cries, he's useless, he gets in the way, sometimes helps the mother. So this is how we start our training. So you see how hard it is to work on our prejudice or the ideas that we have. So just to conclude my short intervention, I would like to say that training is not only providing very good knowledge and evidence-based knowledge, but giving people the opportunity to reflect together. So using the social constructivism approach, and on how can we imagine fatherhood today and in the future from the perspective of the next generation of fathers and mothers. So using interactive training, e-learning is okay. You can train thousands of people, but it's more effective on knowledge than it is on attitudes. So if you want to work on attitudes, maybe we need, and we have very good examples. So if you want, we can share our materials. And I think that's all from my side for the moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela. It's very to the point. It really shakes us, all of us, as you said, and then we have to have this lens, as I agree with you, when we are approaching the training as well, that we need to come really together and discuss and really realize and help frontline professionals realize their biases. It's a very hard process, but one of the things also in the compendium we found is that the programs that can do that shows real effective results indeed, real change in behavior, real change in attitude beyond knowledge. I agree. Thank you for the example that you showed. It can be unpacked in many, many other levels as well, definitely. Thank you so much for now. We will come back to discussing all together, but now as our you need some time to put up the or you need help with the slides, Tatiana, we can put it up, or you want to share? We can share.
Hey.
Hello.
So now, now I'm feeling really, really ashamed because I prepared the PowerPoint presentation with 17 slides. So I'm sorry for that. Otherwise, I'll keep talking and talking, and Ayca knows me, and some colleagues here know they know me. Let me try to share my screen. But first of all, I want to start by saying that we cannot disconnect the work that we do at the individual, structural, and political level from the moment we're living right now in 2025. We're on March the 5th, and during the 15 first days of this year, the world changed. So all our projects with the word gender, with the word woman, with everything, we suffered cuts. We suffered, I don't like to call a backlash, but for me is a new challenging future that we're living for our children. And we are living political challenges that make us think how to overcome these challenges. Because last year or 2 years ago in Portugal, we thought we were going the right way with the right people, doing political changes, working more on fatherhood, on masculinities. And also in Portugal, from one day to another, you have this woke, anti-woke thing, gender ideology, etc. So I think it's a trend all over the world, and we need to focus, as Angela was saying, in the next generation, how to reach them individually, but also how to make sense for them. Because I used to say that usually boys, they don't have a map. We have been very successful with girls saying that they can be whatever they want. I think we have some successes from the feminist movement and women's movement in terms of acknowledging their rights, but I think we fail with boys because we don't give them a map about what can they do and to put the right political importance on care. So this said, let me try to share with you my presentation. Can you see
Tatiana,
it?
we can see it, but not in the presentation form. And
No,
I have to say that we are on time. So
we are on time?
we are on time, but yeah, depending on, I will let you know.
Let's go.
Yes.
So first of all, and sorry for going and reading the slides, but then Ayca can share the slides I prepared with all of you. Understanding the importance of male engagement. That's our focus from the Observatory on Masculinities and also from Equimundo, where I worked for almost a decade. So first of all, the impact on long-term outcomes. So we know that engaged fathers significantly enhanced children's long-term outcomes, including improved academic success, emotional stability, and healthier relationships, thereby fostering a foundation for lifelong well-being and resilience in various life domains. We have data on this. You can go through the images reports, State of the World's Fathers, and other research all around the world. Positive child development in the first place, so active involvement of fathers in caregiving leads to improved emotional development of children and also strengthen family relationships. Engaging men in caregiving promotes equitable sharing of responsibilities. And we keep insisting on this because every year it seems that the data is worse. So we need to struggle. Gender equality and parenting. Of course, equal parenting contributes to gender equality. Equitable caregiving roles promotes shared responsibilities between parents and fosters a balanced family dynamic. Also, influence on future generations. I was saying, what about, and Angela, what about the next generation? Fathers who actively participate in caregiving model gender equality, instilling values of respect and partnership in their children. They are also shaping societal norms for the future by imitation. Community support systems, establishing networks for fathers, and we saw from our first colleague, networks for fathers encourages collaboration and resource sharing, creating a supporting environment that empowers men to engage confidently in parenting roles, so peer support. So some strategies for effective engagement, just very brief. So contextual understanding, so recognizing the diverse backgrounds and experience of men is crucial for tailoring engagement strategies. Men are not all the same, we are not equal, and so some interventions need to be tailored that resonate and address specific barriers they face in caregiving roles. Empathy-driven messaging instead of negative messaging. Usually, if you see the campaigns from the governments against violence against women, they are quite negative because they point the finger to the man and show a picture of injured woman. So that doesn't work at all. We have proofs of that. So crafting messages that reflect men's lived experiences and values can enhance relatability, encouraging participation by highlighting the personal and family benefits of active fatherhood. And finally, inclusive program design. So that's why we keep doing research after research, because we need to be contextual understanding, but also inclusive. Developing programs that incorporate feedback from men of various demographies and social backgrounds, economic backgrounds, fosters a welcoming environment. So some best practices for engaging men in programs. An overview, very general, of successful programs, and I did this PowerPoint to support our Emming project and this compendium. I hope it helps. So successful programs like Program P developed in Latin America, Parent in Europe, also For Parent, Father's Rock, and other programs, as well as the Men Care Global Campaign. They demonstrate effective strategies for engaging men in caregiving, promoting healthier family dynamics and gender equality. And our EMINC program, of course, will be absolutely brilliant and will have a great impact on this. Community-centric models, initiatives that emphasize local engagement, fostering peer support networks and inclusive practices, and evidence-based approaches. I mean, we cannot design an approach without data. I'm a researcher, also a practitioner. We do research action projects, so we need to have research-backed methodologies to address barriers, ensuring that men are actively involved in parenting from pregnancy through early childhood or even before. Some key strategies for engagement: targeted outreach initiatives, inclusive program features, and addressing barriers to participation. Cultural perceptions of caregiving. Perception is very important. We always ask about perceptions about caregiving because we all have different perceptions. Societal norms often label caregiving as a female role, of course, an essentialist approach, discouraging men from participating and necessitating awareness campaigns to shift these perceptions. Fear of social stigma. Men may avoid caregiving roles still due to concerns about being judged or perceived as less masculine. And resource accessibility issues. Many programs lack tailored resources for men, as previously mentioned. Evaluation and impact assessment. Stakeholder involvement, engaging some tips that work from our side and in our European projects, and also in Latin America and working with Equimundo in the United States. So engaging diverse stakeholders in the evaluation process enriches insights, ensuring that assessments reflect the needs and experiences of all participants involved in caregiving programs. Second, comprehensive evaluation framework. A structured approach ensures that all aspects of program effectiveness are assessed, leading to informed decisions and improved outcomes for male engagement in caregiving, so evaluation, and addressing implementation variability, tailoring evaluations. Future directions in fatherhood and caregiving initiatives, some tips, some examples. Innovations in program designs. Of course, I have a 17-year-old daughter, a 5-year-old son, and what works now, it will not work for my son in 10 years. So I think the digital is something we need to explore a lot because they go on digital from very early ages, unfortunately for me now. So technology enhanced engagement, integrating digital tools and platforms into program design can facilitate real-time communication, resource sharing, and virtual support networks, thereby increasing accessibility and participation among fathers in caregiving initiatives. This said, I agree with Angela. I prefer face-to-face. I think that right now it works better. But in a couple of years, we need to change our strategies, collaborations, and partnerships. We cannot do things alone. So, multi-stakeholder engagements, partnerships with government agencies, nonprofits, community organizations, etc., creating a unified approach to promote this male involvement in caregiving initiatives, integrated program development, so collaborative efforts in designing programs that address the unique needs of fathers can lead to more relevant, impactful initiatives. We're not inventing the wheel, so that we are not inventing the wheel all the time. We have a project and share training and resources. So don't keep things to ourselves. Make them public. Make them free, public, and global. Policy implications and recommendations, just finishing. Legislative advocacy for fathers, so promote laws focused on public policies that enhance paternity leave and flexible work options, encouraging men to engage actively in caregiving roles without workplace penalties. Sustainable funding initiatives. Allocated financial resources to fatherhood program, ensuring they can effectively reach and support diverse communities in enhancing male involvement in caregiving. And in this sense, I want to recognize, acknowledge the work of the Oak Foundation, funder of our project, because the Oak Foundation has this vision of sustainable projects during the years. And finally, community collaboration models. Foster partnerships among local organizations to create culturally relevant programs, enhancing outreach and support for fathers in various community settings. Thank you so much, and sorry for taking so long.
Tatiana, thank you so much. I think it was not long. It gave us a broader perspective from every level, why we are here, why we are doing, where we need to go together. And And I'm also wondering the reflections from the audience, if there are any comments, if there are any reactions or questions to discuss together. I would like to open to everybody that this is also a space where we share and collaborate. I would like to encourage everyone, and you're right, it's very eye-opening to change our perspectives into fatherhood programs and innovate and grow with it. So this is what we also try to do in EMINC projects, that we try to learn, innovate, and adapt and make scalable programs. Of course, I can imagine there are a lot of barriers are we need to be expecting on the way. Thank you so much again. It was very, very insightful. Before I open the Q&A from the audience, oh, I see one hand up already. I think we can move on with the questions then, and then we can move on later with our targeted questions to speakers. Please, Adnan Piripol Yaj, or Yaj, I'm sorry to say wrong.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for this wonderful presentation to all the speakers. My question was for Tatiana regarding the sustainability of this initiative. Can you please tell us more about it? Because it really seems to be quite important, or maybe crucial thing for having as many as possible fathers involved in these kind of programs. So I would like to hear more about it. Thanks.
I'm not sure if you want to gather some questions. I can answer Adnan now, or
I'm just checking also, maybe we can start answering and we'll collect the questions in the meantime.
sure. Sure.
Yes, please go
Adnan,
ahead.
thank you for your question. I mean, sustainability, honestly, is one of my major concerns. And we can speak about sustainability in several ways. The first one is when the money of the project ends. So if we have an European funded project, we have 24 months and then the money ends. So one strategy is to partner with the government for the very beginning. And this means that after finishing the project, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Education can adopt our manuals and our strategies and implement by themselves. And we don't need money to do that. That's for me a strategy that usually works. To keep having groups of fathers, I think sometimes it's quite impossible in terms of resources for one organization. So that's why that should be a job of health-related, education-related institutions from the government again and others. Because otherwise you keep fundraising, to do things that you should pilot, you should prove that they result, they have impact, and make it together with government institutions, bigger institutions, international institutions, etc. But that's a huge concern, sustainability. Thank you for your question.
Thank
Ayca,
you. Yes.
can I add
Of course.
something? Yeah,
Of
thank
course,
you.
please.
Because what Tatiana is saying in terms of sustainability, when it's about the training, so changing the mindset of the new generation of professionals, I think what Tatiana outlined is very important. So working with the government, I can give you the example of For a Parent, what we managed to do, and I have to say also thanks to the National Institute of Health, because we are a very strong national public institution. So this is why we managed to do this. We included in the national prevention plans training, mandatory training for all professionals on fatherhood, and not only fatherhood, is mainly on responsive caregiving, but with a focus on fathers. And then the other point is working on pre-service. So what we are managing to do, we already did it with the 6 universities, to work with medical schools, so pediatricians, gynecologists, all these kind of gynecologists because of childbirth, and midwifery school and nursing school during the bachelor degrees and the master degrees courses. And I myself, now I teach, I included the responsive caregiving from the father perspective, and we have exams for the students on fatherhood. So I think, and this is free, it's not free, but it's it's inside the system, so it becomes highly sustainable in time. So I would also suggest to really partner, have strong partnership with the public sector. Yeah.
Thank you, Angela. It's a very important aspect. Sometimes we were so happy and lucky to have you. But it can be a challenge for different contexts also. I can also understand that. I'm checking the chats and I'm seeing the hands up. There was a question before, Anina, I will get back to you, but there was a question before that we missed, I think. Erika says, does anybody on this call have innovative ideas on how to get women to feel supported by men and fathers who are involved in nurturing care? And she says that we found that men feel supported by women, but not the other way around. If our speakers like to, or anybody else, if they want to say something, yes, Tatiana.
I have one answer. After the impact evaluation of Program P and Program Parents, women said they felt supported by the partner. So we have that kind of studies that when we have engaged fatherhood, women feel supported. More support.
It's kind of like chain reaction in a way, and it affects the home environment and grows to the family well-being, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, I see Anina's hand is up. Anina, please go ahead and unmute yourself, please.
I have participated in the 2-parent projects and now in IMINC. And on the sustainability issue, actually, Tatiana and Angela said a lot of what I wanted to say, what I was planning to say, which is about the importance of working with public institutions. Therefore, national government, also local government is very important, with professional organizations. And actually, when we started with the parent project, Tatiana will remember, we were just small NGO of fathers, the Circle of Fathers in Turin. And we were very small and having a problem of reaching out. And I thought, well, how do we have greater impact? How do we sustain this? And I realized that what we needed to do is to try and mainstream the topic in the work of existing institutions and organizations that were working on parenting and health and so on. This is why we identified the National Institute of Health and the organization I work for now, which is the Center for Child Health. And this is actually very important, so much so that in 4E Parent, we actually had a line of work which was called mainstreaming the principles of 4E Parent in existing programs, thus in programs that are run on a long-term basis by other organizations, like we had Save the Children, have programs that go on for years, and we worked there, and that is tremendously important. But there's a bigger sustainability issue where I have a question mainly. We're finding it's really difficult to sustain the fathers groups. We see them coming and going, and there are moments of enthusiasm. You get 10 people, and then you get one, and then there's nobody, and then you have to start again. So we have a problem there about how to make these peer groups into something more sustainable, at least as a network. There is a network in Italy, it's called Maschile Plurale. It tries to connect existing fathers groups, and that's important, but we feel, at least in Italy here, that this is an issue. We've still got women leading very much in the lead on promoting the fatherhood shared care topic.
Thank you, Anina. If any reflection from our speakers or participants, please feel free to reply to this question.
I would just
I would
like to,
like to
I would
also-
like to
Yes.
thank I would like to thank
Go
for
ahead.
the answers. It really gives me personally some ideas of how to proceed, since we are planning to do some kind of some similar sorts of projects in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So it's really very essential, this insight that you are providing. So thank you.
I would like to hear from Ergin Dikme about his work in the field, but I will be supporting him with some translation, if that's okay. Ergin Hocam, babaları gruplara geldiklerinde nasıl tutuyoruz? Çünkü ilk bir geliyorlar, sonra dağılıyorlar, sonra gelmemeye başlıyorlar diyor Anina. Hani bir ilk başta bir kişiyle, iki kişiyle başlayıp sonra pardon daha büyük başlayıp sonra azalıyor. Sizin teknikleriniz neler babaları tutmak için grupta?
Şöyle, ilk önce bir anne oturumunun, 4. oturumda anne oturumunu yapıyoruz biz. 3. veya 4. oturumda. Gerçekten bu kritik bir oturum. Burada anne oturumunu yapıyor olmak annelerin desteğini çok daha fazla hissetmemizi sağlıyor. Sonra yine 9. oturumda, 8 veya 9. oturumda yeniden bir anne oturumu yapıyoruz. Çünkü oturumumuz, yani bizim eğitimimiz daha çok annelerin mutluluğu, daha az çalıştıkları, daha az yoruldukları, daha eşit bir aile ortamı koşullarını yaratmak üzerine kurgulandığı için annelerin desteğini aldığımızda babalar daha motive olmuş oluyorlar. Birincisi bu.
Onlar annelerin desteğiyle daha fazla geliyor. Okay, çeviriyorum. He's sharing that there's crucial meetings in their program where they make all the family come together with the mothers and fathers together and have sessions. And it's on the 4th and the 9th week, so it's strategically balanced. And after these weeks, they see the effect of fathers' motivation increases. So when they have this family-oriented approach, they see changes in fathers' motivation to come to the sessions because they know their partners are involved as well, and probably it goes through the home environment.
Hı-hı.
And this is the first one. And second, you wanted to add?
Şu, her oturumda mutlaka eğlenceli hale getirmeye çalışıyoruz. Tek bir sunum değil, bol katılımlı, eğlenceli bir aktivite ortamı yaratmaya çalışıyoruz. Onlar için bir terapötik bir işlev gördüğümü düşünüyorum. Giderek birbirlerine ve gruba daha fazla bağlandıklarını hissediyorum. Bu da onların devamlılığını sağlayan başka faktör.
Evet, çok güzel. And he's saying that they are trying to make their programs as fun and as engaging as possible for men's needs. And when they come to these groups, they also connect with each other in different levels, and then they share and they motivate them. And towards the end of the program, they develop these relationships with each other as well, and they really enjoy having time together there in the program. And it's just not one presentation or something boring, and they do other activities together as well. Umarım doğru çevirmişimdir hocam. Evet, and this is the second one. Var mı başka? You want to add something?
Son olarak eğitimciyle kurdukları yakın ilişki ve sürekli ilişki çok bu süreklilikte etkisi oluyor, katkısı oluyor.
Mm-hmm. And the third important point is that their one-on-one relationship with the trainer also adds a lot to their motivation to come to the training. So I can imagine Ergin Hocam with a lot of experience. He has this easy connection and with fathers, he understands them, he's empathetic. So the relationship that the trainer builds up with these fathers makes them committed to the program. These are the experiences from the field. Thank you so much. Do you want to add something more, Hocam?
No, thank you very much. No.
Okay. Thank you so much. Are there any other?
Maybe I can add something, Ayca. Okay, can you hear me?
Sure, go ahead. Yes, I'm sorry.
Anina. So Ergin said that the face-to-face communication is so important for us. For example, a father, if he can't come to do session, one of our sessions, so we need to call them. our trainer calls them every week. So if there is a problem, we can know or we can help them about it. So this kind of, I don't know, relationships make our program more stronger. And this is important, I think. I don't know, maybe also, yeah, our program has 15 sessions. So after the third sessions, we organize some events like a picnic or I don't know, the night meetings after the sessions, or I don't know, some organizations with the children and the families. These kind of things help us to keep the fathers in the group.
Thank you so much. It takes also a lot of effort, I can understand, because this program is not a short one, the father support program. All of the programs also, just for the audience that we mentioned here, we also included in the compendium and more. And we mentioned ACEV program as well. There, it's a long program, but still with these kind of tricks, they managed to keep the interest going. I hope this helps, Anina.
I think the main problem is not so much sustaining the effort during a project when you have a trainer that's paid for, where you've got a few resources.
Yes.
The issue is what happens at the end. Do these groups continue to exist? You know, what we did in 4E Parent, but we still need to see whether this is working, is that we set up a kind of interactive map of where there are groups, so that people can see, there's a group here, it's in my district. But that too is quite hard to keep alive. So the issue is really what happens after, when projects close, what happens to these fathers groups, you know?
I see. Yes.
Yeah.
So, Tatiana also wanted to add something, I guess. Please.
Because
Tatiana.
I don't know where to raise my hand. I'm so sorry.
It should be down below, I guess. No?
Upstairs. Upstairs.
Yeah. Hey, Onur, great to see you. How are you?
I'm good, Tatiana.
We just met in Istanbul, and I really like the work ACEV does, and the meeting we had, it was very, very helpful for me. Anina, let's make a comparison. So we take an underdegree. What happens after we finish the underdegree? We look for a job, we talk about it with colleagues, we talk about it in coffee shops or something. So for me, is not, because for me, fathers groups, you have a beginning and an end, and you give them information, you overcome stereotypes, you give them tips, you give them everything. My question is, why do we go to, for example, a coffee shop and see a group of women talking about motherhood and their children, and we don't see the same, usually, with men? So for me, keeping the fathers groups going would mean going to a coffee shop and listening to a very common conversation between fathers about their children, about strategies, because we as mothers, we looked for strategies. So for me, that would be, you know, the results and the success of the fathers groups, you know, because we cannot keep doing that till the end of our lives. Our objective is to normalize caregiving and fatherhood. I think that's how I see it.
I think what
Angela?
we're
Sorry,
sorry,
yes.
no. What we're feeling the need for is that we're seeing that fathers need spaces, places where they can go when there are problems, when there are tensions, when there are difficulties, when they feel they need to talk to someone. And sometimes they're very lonely. You don't have these spaces. So the training we do is one thing. That's not a father's group. That's putting people together to give them some training. What we need to create these spaces where where men can go and talk and be together and so on. And this we see as a difficulty because in some local governments, they have things called family centers where they've set up this kind of group. In other places, there's nothing. It results from an initiative, maybe from a father who has received some kind of training, and they may start a group and so on. And so how do we help multiply these opportunities?
Angela also wanted to add something, I suppose, and then I would like to give the floor to Angelique after Angela.
Thank you. Just a reflection. I've been involved in mother-to-mother peer support groups for several years, and I have to say that they face the same challenges, exactly the same challenges. They are much more in number. As Tatiana said, there are less father groups than mother groups, but then the group form and end depending on the interest. We have some municipalities where we had 10 mother-to-mother support groups, and after 5 years, no one. So it depends because the children grow up and the mothers get involved in other activities in school. And so the mother-to-mother support groups simply stop. So I'm not really worried about this. It's normal life cycle of these groups. It's just to understand how we can increase number of other groups, and then how to engage, for example, municipalities in keeping the process alive. One group ends, but another, starts. So, yeah, just this reflection.
Thank you so much, Angela. I see Angelique Kester has her hand up, and also I was just coming back to the comments and questions here. Angelique said it would be interesting to look at how the role of fathers is influenced within different fragile contexts: security, political, social, human, environmental, economic, and how fathers can still be involved in Zambia. Fathers support groups, fathers of children with a disability, these were set up for sharing experiences, sharing actions, sharing livelihood projects. But it would be great to collect more experiences, best practices on this, she said. Angelique, do you want to also comment and reflect? I see your hand up. Do I say I hope I say your name correctly.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hello.
So I'm sure you can see that there are two accounts for Angelique. The other one is being used by me, Michael, from Zambia.
Okay.
Working on a Zekro project. So Angelique is a colleague. Yes.
Okay, thank you for clarification, because I've seen only this one. Oh, I see the other one now. Okay, yes.
So the second question is actually mine.
Okay.
On trying to find out what are the experiences for involving fathers in like such as those with children disabilities. But I think my other question would go to Anina. Hope the name is correct. She talked of how some fathers, the group would start, and after some time, the number reduces, the commitment goes down. That's similar to what we have. But I would just like to find out what are some of the factors, if she has had time to talk to these fathers, what are some of the reasons that they have been giving for reduction in number and them not attending their meetings. On our part, for the fathers of children with disability, their excuse of not attending meetings regularly, they say, I have to find food and means to support my family. So no wonder I'm not able to come to the support groups. The mothers, on the other hand, they are always committed. So mothers would meet once a week, but fathers, we try to make them meet once a month. But then again, it was difficult to have large numbers because they would always say, I have to find means of providing for my family. But I like the presentation of fathers' engagement. I think we'll try it where we also try to make it fun and more interactive and see how we can support. But maybe for Anina, that question of what are some of the reasons they have been giving, and what are some of your experiences working with fathers, especially if anyone has been working with fathers with disabilities? I think that would be helpful.
Thank you. We cannot hear you, Nina.
Don't have a direct experience of working with disabilities, so indirect contact with a group of fathers in the South who work on disabilities, and they manage to keep up quite regularly, but they have the backing of an organization that has some resources, and that's always helpful. I think I can resonate with that. From what I hear from the men, the colleagues who are running fathers groups, the reasons are exactly the same. I think what we're seeing in various domains, that men find it much harder to multitask. I mean, women are very used to combining a lot of stuff. And so in a lot of stuff they do, they can maybe find time to have a meeting. The fathers get overwhelmed. I know there's a work pressure, or there is something to do in the house. And so they find it harder to combine everything. And back in their minds, at least in Italy, there's this strong sort of commitment to being a good worker, a good employee. And so that, you know, that their work tends to be a priority. Angela, I don't know whether you would agree as an Italian that with that kind of analysis.
Yeah, Nina.
I I have a huge concern because Anin and some colleagues here, they know that Program P started in Latin America, and we started in Brazilian favelas, in slums. And so sometimes we talk about fathers groups and about Program P and Program Parent and our programs targeting a specific social class. A specific social class with work contract, and we need to start by somewhere, I know. But for example, working in favelas in Brazil, we had to adapt completely. So we could only do on Saturdays. We would provide lunch, snacks. We would provide football matches on Sundays to engage children. So to honestly, on the one side, respect the time of work they have during the week, because usually they have 2 to 3 jobs, and also to give them a space and a place where they can interact with children, because sometimes they don't know how to. So I think there's a huge lack of research and experience in countries where the conditions are not the ones we are used to in Europe. So that when we talk about adapting to specific contexts, that's what we mean. And adapt to specific cultures, that's what we mean. So we need to take that into consideration. And in Europe, for example, we have more and more immigrants going to, and migrants going to different countries, not their countries. So we need also to take that into consideration. And I mean, don't use the same, not methodology, but the same solution for all. That's a concern.
Yeah, you're right. We know from our Spanish colleagues also in EMING projects, the fathers groups really made a difference, and they really got qualitative feedback, at least in the first phase of the project, from especially fathers with a bit different ethnic background or immigrant background in Spain. So it does maybe have a double effect for them. And on related note, I want to also have a look at the questions, and being mindful of the time. There was one of the related questions they were asking, how do you address the intersectional challenges that fathers face? I think you a little bit mentioned about this, but especially those from marginalized communities when it comes to caregiving and bonding with their children. So you mentioned a little bit, but if anyone wants to elaborate, or if you want to elaborate, Tatiana, maybe it's an interesting, important question for inclusivity.
First of all, and I usually like to speak about my own experiences and not by reading. Most of the families in Rio de Janeiro favelas, for example, they only have the mother and the grandmother. So it's not easy to find a group of fathers, or engaged fathers at least. So that's something we need to consider. And then when you find them, you need to use creative strategies, as Onur was saying. So just to make them feel good there, to normalize caring masculinities. That's why I keep saying that we are working on fatherhood, on caring fatherhood. But I mean, the focus is to normalize, promote, and normalize caring masculinities, because that's not only towards children, but towards the wife and the family and the community.
I see. Thank you so much. If there are no other reflections, I want to have a look at the comments as well. And there is another question: how can we ensure that the message of shared caregiving responsibility reaches men who may not be exposed to these discussions in their personal or professional environments? I think that's the million-dollar question, in my opinion. Do you have any reflections on that?
If I can, I've seen the question in the chat, and I think one of the limitations that we have is that we start to think at fatherhood when we have a child. We should start to think to fatherhood when we have a pregnancy. And this is because what the evidence tells us is that while the pregnancy for women is a huge trigger for, neurobiological changes and etc., for men, being actively involved during pregnancy and then at childbirth, and since the very beginning of life, of the baby's life, the first 2 hours being there with the mothers, not being, go outside
Away.
and wait. They should be there with their own space and their own time, to get knowing what to do with their partner during childbirth, and then the skin-to-skin contact. What we know from the evidence is that their amygdala, the father amygdala, changes, it grows, it gets bigger. They produce more oxytocin, which is the love hormone, let's say. And so they have less aggressive behavior and much more caring behavior. And this happens, as Tatiana was saying, it's interesting because it starts with childbirth and pregnancy, but not only. In every caring situation, the man's brain changes. Also, if you care for your old mother, old father, your father or, your brother or sister with a disability, being in a caring relationship makes you more caring, and it changes your brain. So we should not start to think to fatherhood when the baby is there, 1 month, 2 months. No, let's start from the delivery room and from pregnancy, because this changes really the brain. It's not me saying, of course.
It's backed with science. Yes. Thank you, Angela. I'm going to go over some of the comments also slowly when we're reaching towards the end. If there's any other comments and questions, please, we have 5 or 6 more minutes. And I've seen a comment from Jan de Met saying that some father groups, as far I've heard from our social partners, they remain slightly more sustainable if you vary the talking with the action. For example, organizing sports or play activities with fathers and children. I think with the video that Ergin also showed us, that being really active together, doing activities together, they were also doing some music activities at the end in the school. These kind of things will be helpful. Thank you for the comment. And oh, again, Michael from Zambia working. Oh, I see that you also mentioned that disabilities with families. And there we were discussing about, indeed, the challenges is very similar, but context is everything. Erika is saying, hence what works in the global north may not work in the global south. Cultural
I want to
responses of
comment on
human.
that.
Okay, yes, please. Human-centered design might be a matter of cognition.
I still don't
definition.
know how to raise my hand. I will learn one day, Ayca.
You did very well just saying, just unmuting
Okay.
and saying that's
Because
that's why we're here.
I really like to say this. Program P was designed, and like Program H and Program M, for working with boys in the Global South. So we wrote that with colleagues from Program P was written by Brazil, Chile, and Nicaragua. And what we did was the opposite of what big international organizations do. So we adapted a methodology, a research methodology, like images, for example, and then the program P into parent and for parents and etc. to the global north. And it works much better than the opposite. So if, I'm not mentioning names, but if an international NGO has an office in London or New York and implements their methodologies in the global south without having the cultural knowledge of the context, so doing research, it's quite, how to say it, well, it's quite arrogant. But the interesting thing is that this is a methodology developed in the global south that makes sense in the global north, and that has been working in the global north, because we have more similarities with the global south than we think we have. So I think that's why
Excellent,
we
yeah.
need to combine, both.
Thank you so much, Tatiana. I understand why you wanted to comment on that, because you're talking also coming from evidence-based approaches and science. So we see if it works, and that's why we want to promote it at the end. I would like to read one last comment, and then I would like to end slowly with one more question to our speakers. Balaktash Himikbayan Santiago is saying that he thank you for this opportunity. I'm already encouraged by insights gained from this meeting. Himik from the ECCD Council Philippines in partnership with the Asia Pacific Regional Network for Our Childhood. We are currently implementing a project that aims to integrate fatherhood meta engagement in our infant and toddler early development program. This project includes conducted baseline and endline studies with 2 pilot sites, providing capacity building for ECCD service providers and caregivers, and engaging local government authorities to support advocate for FME. Thank you so much for these comments. It's great to see that we came here together from all different parts and from different perspectives. And I'm so happy that we could exchange this information and come together and collaborate and be stronger together, because I think it's a very hard time to navigate politically and socially, and we will be, having a lot of barriers, but when we are together, we can cross them. Before we leave, I would like to finish with one question to each of our speakers. What message would you like to leave this meeting? What message you like to leave to the audience today, and for future of fatherhood and caregiving? Ergin Hocam, bir mesaj verecek olsanız ilgili babalığın geleceği için ne gibi bir mesaj vererek ayrılmak isterdiniz bu session'da?
Yani yalnız olmadığınızı bilmek güzel. Sizinle aynı derdi taşıyan insanların var olduğunu bilmek güzel, güçlendirici bir şey.
Çok teşekkür ederim. Ergin says that it's very good that we are not alone. It's very good to be in this meeting to hear that people are having the same approaches, same values. So it's very good to be in this togetherness. Thank you, Hocam. Angela or Tatiana, may I invite one of you? Tatiana, please.
You know me. I heard a sentence very recently saying policymakers, they also care.
Mhm.
Some
That's a really-
policymakers are also fathers. That doesn't mean that they are all good fathers, but they also care, some of them being right-wing, left-wing, and some of them are also fathers. So perhaps working on fatherhood, caregiving, and caring masculinities is a way of overcoming the global crisis we're living in terms of gender equality. So let's think every time I look, not the fascist parties, not those who don't even like the word care, but most policymakers, they do care. So let's try to work on that. Equimundo had a campaign called Vote Like a Dad. And this means a lot when you think vote like a dad. So that's my message.
That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Angela, would you like to?
Maybe the message, the final message for me is try to be model of what we say and what we believe. So model as parents or as people in the society. And as Tatiana was saying, safeguard the rights that we have gained until now, and the shared vision that we have of gender equity and responsive parenting for the next generations. Yeah.
Thank you so much for all of these meaningful insights. I'm sure all of the participants are sharing the same feelings and values and thoughts with us. And indeed, and if I myself would like to add one more thing, and whenever we focus on these, I always think of young children and the days and for their well-being. And one of the things to ensure is that they receive the care that they need, they're nurtured, they're safe, they have responsive interactions, is that we make sure the families are there for them, they're happy, they're engaged, both mothers and fathers. Thank you so much for being here. If there are no questions, comments, I think we can close this session. It was a great session. Thank you so much. I would like to thank my colleagues in ISSA, our colleagues in EMIN Consortium, and Angela, Ergin, and Tatiana, to our speakers, and for everybody for being here, contributing and listening in. Hope to see you in the next events. I would say stay tuned, follow us on our socials, and if you want to reach out, please reach out to us. I'm sure in the future we'll be collaborating and working together more and more. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.